the meal that wouldn't end. This is Pan and she wanted to be a superstar. So she decided to do this thing called mukbang. It's where you basically gorge yourself on camera. People would pay her to keep going on livestream. Gifts, tips, all of it. And the numbers climbed. She gained a lot of weight during these challenges. She would be doing these challenges multiple times a day and was constantly stuffing her face with more food during the live streams. She wasn't going to stop. Even when her family warned her, she kept going anyway. The day before her last stream, she went to the hospital. She had gastrointestinal bleeding from all these mukbang challenges. The doctors told her not to do this again. She was then discharged from the hospital. A normal person would stop eating after getting the diagnosis. Not her, though. She went home and went right back to live streaming. On her final stream, she stacked the table with seafood, fried chicken, and chocolate cake. All of it together, all at once. She was eating for 10 hours straight and upwards of 15 to 20 pounds of food, while thousands watched. Chat kept rolling, gifts kept coming, she kept eating. Then it happened. She went pale, slowed, and collapsed on camera. Her stomach completely ruptures after she had 22 pounds of food shoved down her gullet. This is the moment in which it happens on the live stream while thousands of people were watching. The autopsy report later shows that she even had undigested food that had descended down to her intestines. The Midnight Dare. May 24th, 2023, Nassau, Bahamas. 18-year-old Cameron Robbins is celebrating graduation aboard Blackbeard's Revenge, a pirate-themed sunset cruise idling in Montague Bay, near Athol Island. The deck is crowded with graduating seniors, among them was Cameron. Music up, phones out, everyone laughing and filming. A few guys start hyping each other at the rail, yelling over the speakers. Like teens do, they amped each other up for what felt harmless. They began chanting for Cameron to jump over the board. Around 9:40 p.m., Cameron steps onto the guardrail, looks back once at the circle of friends, and lets go, dropping into shark-infested pitch-black water beyond the ship's light wash. Crew immediately trigger man-overboard procedures and throw a life buoy. The crowd started yelling, "Grab the buoy!" The ring splashes close, but Cameron swims the other way, slipping out of the lit zone and into darkness as the boat holds position. Search ramps up fast. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force coordinates with the U.S. Coast Guard District 7. Aircraft and cutters grid the area. Over roughly 325 square miles, they run patterns for about 3 days. With no sighting, authorities suspend the active search on May 27th. Cameron is not found. Panic at 150 feet. May 28th, 2025. A clear afternoon over the Adriatic in Budva, Montenegro. 19-year-old Serbian student and model Tihana Radonjic is on the beach when a parasailing rep offers her a free parasailing experience. They're filming promo content to draw summer tourists. It's quick, it's free, it looks fun, and she agrees. She says yes, follows them to the launch point, and sits for a quick harness check. Staff tighten the straps, clip the lines, and signal the boat. The parachute opens, takes the wind, and carries Tihana up over the Budva Riviera. Moments later, fear hits hard. From the boat and shore, people hear her shouting for help. High above the water, she grabs at her life jacket, then at the waist buckles. In a surge of panic, she unfastens the harness that's holding her in place. There's no time to correct it. She drops, around 150 to 160 feet, straight into the sea. Rescuers reach her fast, but she's pronounced dead soon after. Stung, then swarmed. In Minas Gerais, Brazil, a 30-year-old man is fishing beside a farm lake. A swarm of bees surges out of nowhere towards him. Horrified, he sprints and dives into the farm lake to escape the attack. The water is not a refuge. Piranhas in the water swarm towards him and begin attacking him. When rescuers recover him, he is about 13 feet from the bank, his face and body badly disfigured by bites. He does not survive. Exploding gum. 25-year-old chemistry student Vladimir Likanos is cramming for exams. When nerves hit, he chews gum. However, he found the gum to lose flavor rather quickly, so to stimulate his taste buds, a jar of powdered citric acid sat on his desk to dip his gum whenever he needed more flavoring. On December 9th, 2009, his mother heard a loud pop from his room. When she went to investigate, Vladimir was found with the lower half of his jaw blown clean off. As he had various materials related to his major in university, one of them being an explosive powder which looked rather similar to the citric acid, it appears he may have dipped his gum in the explosive powder rather than the citric acid, and the friction when he chewed caused it to explode. He was rushed to the hospital but was sadly pronounced dead. Window strength demonstration. Meet Gary Hoy, the man whose tragic mistake became infamous. Gary Hoy was a senior partner at the law firm Holden Day Wilson and was known for a peculiar party trick. He would run into the windows of his office building to demonstrate their strength. The firm's offices were located on the 24th floor of the Toronto Dominion Centre, a modern skyscraper with large floor-to-ceiling windows. On this day, Hoy was giving a tour to a group of visiting L students and decided to perform his usual stunt to impress them. He charged full speed against the window while the students cheered. The window did not break on impact as Hoy had anticipated. He ran toward the window for a second try but didn't know that the window had slipped out of its frame. The force of his body against the window caused the entire pane to pop out of its frame. Hoy plummeted 24 stories to his death. The radio contest. Sacramento, 2007. A radio station ran Hold Your Wii for a Wii contest. The rules were simple. Drink water on air, don't use the bathroom, last person standing wins a Nintendo Wii. 28-year-old Jennifer Strange joined the contest for her kids. The show kicked off around 6:45 a.m. with 8-ounce bottles every 15 minutes. After several rounds, staff upped the bottle size to 500 milliliters and kept the no bathroom rule. The whole stunt ran a little over 3 hours. By then, Jennifer had downed nearly 2 gallons. She complained of a pounding headache and placed second. She drove home in severe pain and later died of acute water intoxication. Death from above. Around 455 BCE, the playwright Aeschylus was traveling near Gela in Sicily. At the time, prophecy was taken very seriously, and anyone preparing to visit an unfamiliar place would seek one before setting out. After hearing his own prophecy, which warned of death from above, Aeschylus avoided trees, rocks, and buildings. Even at his destination, he stayed in open fields until he could finish his business and return home. Then fate found him anyway. An eagle carrying a tortoise in its claws was searching for a hard surface to crack the shell. From high above, Aeschylus's bald head must have looked like a smooth rock. The eagle dropped the tortoise, the shell struck his skull, and he died instantly, drowned by protocol. In 1880, Queen Sunanda Kumariratana traveled by boat on the Chao Phraya River toward the Bang Pa-in summer palace. At a narrow bend, the current tugged, and a gust hit the canopy. The hull scraped something hidden, jerked sideways, and water poured in. In seconds, the boat tipped and flipped, throwing everyone into the Chao Phraya. As the overturned boat drifted, the queen surfaced within reach of the escorts, but they froze. Court protocol forbade commoners from touching the queen. Hands hovered, seconds stretched into minutes. By the time higher-ranking help reached her, the moment to pull her out alive had passed. She drowned that day. The boats recovered her body from the water and carried it back to the palace. Protesting helmet regulations. Philip A. Contos joined a group ride to protest New York's mandatory helmet law. New York requires motorcyclists to wear helmets. The riders on this run argued it should be a personal choice. Contos rode his Harley-Davidson without a helmet. During the ride, traffic slowed and he braked hard. The motorcycle fishtailed. He went over the handlebars and hit his head on the pavement. First responders arrived quickly, but he was pronounced dead soon after. The medical examiner reported that a helmet would almost certainly have prevented the fatal head injury. The trophy bite. Viking Orkney, 9th century. Jarl Sigurd the Mighty beat his rival Maelbrigte and took the man's head as a trophy, lashing it to his saddle for the victory ride. The road was rough. The head's teeth scraped Sigurd's leg. The cut festered. Infection set in. The conqueror died days later, killed not by a sword but by a tooth from the enemy he'd already defeated. Tripped on his beard. September 1957. A fire breaks out in the town center. Bells ring, people spill into the streets, and the mayor, Hans Steininger, does what he always does. He runs toward the problem. Hans Steininger was the mayor of Braunau am Inn, Austria. He was famous for a very long beard that is nearly 2 meters long. On normal days, he rolls it up and tucks it into a little pocket on his chest so it doesn't get in the way. In the rush, the beard works loose. He notices, reaches to fix it, then decides there's no time. Today he's shouting orders, trying to calm the crowd, heading up the steps inside a building as smoke builds. He lets it hang, planning to deal with it after he gets people out. Bad call. On the staircase, the beard hits the step before his foot does. Hans steps on it, pitches forward, and goes head first down the stairs. He breaks his neck and dies soon after. The townspeople find their mayor on the stone steps, his beard still trailing beside him, the same beard he was known for and the thing that finally brought him down.